All right, it is time to draw some impressive orbs. A beautiful set of orbs, just absolutely gorgeous. Join me, sit down, and watch me draw myself, because nothing but I'm nothing but a set of orbs. That's right, that's the joke, because my model has orbs all over it. Ta-da! See, I've got orbs. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing all of the orbs for the next model upgrade that I'm doing. Hopefully, this time, if I do it like this, I'll actually keep everything. I'm also, it's late at night, so I'm also eating my supper, which is a very crappy uh, frozen butter chicken. I bought the cheaper one. It's not great, but I added some extra spices to it, so it's at least spicy. White habanero powder. I think it's 350,000 Scoville. So that's a nice little bit of kick. All right. First thing I am doing is centering this line. So that's that's an oval. It doesn't need to be perfect because it's hand drawn, and I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. So the whole idea of this is that I'm going to be using it in the next version of my model. So so this first one that I'm drawing, the first orb of the set, the most important orb, the largest orb. Uh, ooh, heat's actually starting to kick in a little bit. It's nice. It's nice. But yeah, this first orb is the one in my chest. I puff up my chest as if my model actually can work with that. I definitely need to upgrade my model because, um, well, I also need to fix my tracking. Um, but that's beside the point. That's a whole other thing. So, but let's start with. I don't have anything set up, and the stream probably won't last very long, to be honest. We'll just do that. That's going to be a better circle than using the circle tool. There we go. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do it. There are some features that I want. For one, I want to be able to stream with just the orb because lore wise and everything, uh, my model is quite literally the orb and a body that it has made for itself. Um, it's that way because I want it to be that way. So this is going to be the back of it. There we go. So, and when I say that I want to be able to stream as just the orb, I mean specifically that I want to have something that'll track with my eyes, something that'll track with my mouth, and and obviously my head. So I'm gonna have a bunch of sigils on the inside, kind of shapes, not sigils, and these shapes are gonna be kind of mimicking my eyes, my mouth. Uh, well, not technically not mimicking my mouth. I don't know how I want to do that. Part of me wants to just make the orb shimmer when I talk, which would be fun. I'd have it tied to my mouth still so that it kind of shimmers as I just move my mouth around. Or I could tie it to volume so that it shimmers properly. I think I'll probably do volume. So, sorry, I'm kind of eating while I'm doing this. I thought I was going to be able to eat properly, but I am not good at that. Now, this isn't going to be the final version of the orb, but it will be a version of the orb. Some ASMR there, free of charge. A lot better with the spices. It's palatable. It's not good, but it's palatable. All right, let's. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. There we go. It has been so very long since I have even just looked at this. So let's start with what I'm gonna do as the eye. Also, the other orbs, I'm gonna be doing similar things. So for the parts that they rely on, and by other orbs, I mean the eyes themselves. Uh, I think I'm gonna try to do something with, as well as the orbs that make up my shoulders. Right now, this model has kind of the. I move my arms as if it's going to do something, as if it's going to track, but no, this is just head tracking, webcam based head tracking, so it's not even the greatest, the best head tracking. Uh, I have actually here. I can. No, I can't because it's. Oh my god. Let's pull up an image of. Oh, actually, why do I have this image? Well, this board image will work. We're gonna do as a new document. So this very pixelated blown up image will work for circling things. So the orbs that I am doing today will be obviously the eyes, chest, and right now I have these guys kind of embedded in the arms, and then these other ones here that are, kind of stone and not the same as these guys, as all these eyes. Um, these, let's do red just because these are being extra. Like those aren't going to be there anymore, and these ones are going to be uh, turned into the the way that these are. So I'm not going to have the crystals embedded halfway down uh, my bicep or whatever part of the arm. I'm so tired right now. I just worked a 8 hour shift. Or I guess 7 hour. It was shortened by one. Ugh. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to be doing those as the special orbs. And then this orb is actually going to be much bigger on this. So let's just delete everything. So this central orb here is probably going to be taking up that area. And I'm still on the fence about this, but I'm thinking about removing my neck. Sounds a little bit weird, I know, but that's I'm an automaton. I don't need a neck. I don't actually eat. I don't. People want to watch the food going down my neck, you know. It doesn't even make it down to my neck because it just goes into my mouth and is converted into mana, well, Ethereum technically, lore wise, blah blah blah. Um, so I'm probably gonna go and have the neck kind of be more magicy, floaty, and then of course the arm orbs are actually gonna be a bit smaller, and then of course the eyes. The eyes are gonna be roughly the same size. So this set of orbs is what I am doing today. And we're starting with the main one. The one that every other orb, if I actually ever get around to animating things, uh, every other part of the orb comes from. So, obviously, this is just going to be a very rough thing because I don't even know if I'll last an hour today. Um, but we will see. So, let's start off with the eye. So, thinking that I will just do a shape roughly kind of like an eye, kind of just like an eye. Like that. Thinking, so something like that. Probably. Which button is my? There we go. As I said, it's been a while since I've actually drawn. So kind of do that with another. I'll try to round that out a bit more. Or alternatively, is that undo? Yeah, that's undo. Alternatively, do that. Because I don't want to have regular irises and pupils and all that. I want to try to make my model a little bit less human. looking, a little bit less ordinary. And one of the things I want to do for that is having odd shaped pupils because that's an easy thing to do. So I'll have that, and then when I close my eyes, um, what I want it to be able to do. So I want, oh, not that up, not that layer. Um, I think I want it to flatten out mostly. Oh, wrong button. I'm surprised I'm remembering as many controls as I am. So have the symbol kind of flatten out whenever I close my eye, pursing like lips. Oh, that would be interesting, actually. I think. What if I? What if I did the mouth? So like when I actually speak. Oh, I think that would look really good. So instead of the my eyes closing, have okay. I'm gonna see. This is brainstorming. This is brainstorming my orbs. So the eye will be represented just by. Oh, let's. There we go. So let's also do this, just so it's nice and. Oh, I didn't center this anyways. That's fine. We'll just roughly center this on the orb, and it'll be fine. Because as I like, this is a very rough thing. So instead of what I was gonna do, have the eye kind of like that. So that'll be the eye, and what it'll do, of course, is it'll move around as to follow my eyes and face looking. So if I, just kind of moving around there. And then we'll also have my mouth. Remembering all of my shortcuts is difficult, especially when I haven't really drawn in almost a year. So have the lips, so to speak, be shaped kind of like this, that flattens out like what I wrote before, where it ends up looking kind of pursed, like with a little O shape in the center, so that the eye is still kind of visible. The eye itself, like the this little central part, isn't going to shrink or anything. Uh, it might like swash a little bit, but it won't necessarily shrink. It'll just be hidden behind the other, or so like when the lips are over top of it, say the lips are fully flattened, well, flat in like in their most flattened state, because they're still gonna have. Maybe I should make the central part smaller actually, because I don't do this whole thing with my mouth open like the entire. So maybe have it like that. So this would be when my mouth is fully open, kind of like that, and then I would have. That's not okay. So we'll this layer, and then of course, when my mouth is closed, have the mouth here. So oh, actually let's go a little bit closer. So this would be closed. This would be fully opened. And then I think to make things a little bit more interesting, um, what I'll do with the eyes, I'll also have followers. So they won't be tied to this main central bit, but they will be kind of right here. And when I close my eyes and everything, uh, when my eyes fully open, that's kind of what it would look like. Uh, the central part, as my eye closes, will kind of more just go. Oh, was it Alt? No, it was. Will kind of like squash, kind of squash like that. And then these arrows are gonna kind of follow suit a little bit. So as this edge gets closer, they'll kind of expand out. So that'll be the main thing. And of course, as everything moves, everything will kind of shift uh, around the orb. I may not even last an hour. I'm using all of the energy that I didn't even know I had. So most of these shapes are going to be solid. So, and then you can see here, with my mouth fully closed, because I still need to be able to see. And I'll probably do followers around the mouth as well, just to make it so that, because I don't want it, I want the whole orb to look like it's turning, and like when I'm looking around, not just like the center shifting. And the best way I think to do that is to have follower shapes, because the orb is not opaque. It's not an eyeball. It has. So some things that I would do. here. Oh, actually, let's go back to the first color. So I'd have uh, some like lips here. Some of the so they'd be solid. I'm just gonna quickly. I am not doing a very good job. I am so tired. Like I cannot. Maybe I don't know if it's just I'm out of practice or what, but I just can't draw worth crap tonight. Like I know that I'm not a what some people would call a good artist because I have a tendency um, to do this where I keep on calling it feathering it out, but it's not. That's not what that means. There's a specific word that people like to use and say that it's really bad for artists to do that, but it's like I don't care. I'm not formally trained in anything. I will do things as I see fit. Yeah, sure, it takes longer in some ways, but I don't care. So we have that fully. Oh, wrong layer. Oh well. This is not the final draft, anyways. It's fine. Okay, so we have that. Then the followers for oh, the followers for the button here will kind of. I think I will do this quadrant uh thing so that way everything kind of matches. Nice and easy to do it that way. But so I'll have this, and then so that everything kind of continues on. We'll have this little bit here. Did I just do this on all in the same layer? I did. Another problem with this is that I can only go back so far. Do I have enough? Okay. So like this'll because I know how to do this. I know how to uh make things work like this. I've done a little bit of that before. So we'll have this full thing. This is just going to be, I'm just going to move this back. That's this one. Of course, I drew it on that layer instead of the one I'm a separate layer, but oh well. This is kind of just showy. So we'll have this little bit wrapping all the way around. And it's going to uh, move around there without uh, a lot of warping because obviously it's right above the top of the lips there. So like the edge here when the mouth opens and closes will go up and down. Uh, but when it turns this way, rather than having uh, I can't think rather than squashing things and just making it look like everything's kind of just shifting, but it's not turning. I'll have more of this be exposed, so I'll actually turn it. It's hard to explain, but I hope people understand what I mean because I'm very excited about the whole thing. So we'll have that colored in all the way here. So, and I think what I'll also do is a similar thing. I don't care that I'm using this time. I don't care. So I'll do that, and then something like that. Maybe what I can even do. Oh, of course, I drew it on the same layer. Ah, I'm so good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody cares. All right. So ending up with this, and then I can also do other floaties, kind of just around. Uh, and another thing that I can do. How will I draw this? So obviously this is not the final color of everything. Yeah, I think I like that. I think doing everything kind of synchronized like that. And of course, the way that I would do this is these shapes would actually be something like that, so that I can kind of just slide them in, uh, and and this would be the same only in reverse, where I'm now just on the base layer. So that way I can slide them all at the same time. Well, I would, if I were to slide this one in, I would slide this one out, and I'd slide this middle piece uh, to the left. And that would create the illusion, because obviously Live 2D is done, it's a flat model. So you need to kind of do things like this if you want it to look like it's rotating or turning. In fact, what I'd probably do to make sure that everything is nice and tidy is I would actually just draw the middle piece. So these would have these parts would have the full wings, and I just copy that piece and make it lighter or darker for the back, whatever. Uh, and I just have uh, one, two, three, so six copies of that thing, just so that they're all for sure the right color and shape or right shape. Then as for this one, so as I move this light blue part, this lighter blue part down, as you know, I talk and whatnot, uh, I would course, so I move this one down, I move this up, so that way it looks like these symbols are kind of on the surface of the orb, just kind of moving. Then I could also have other things here. I'll just do that, where you know symbols and followers in the middle, you know, just different shapes. So they actually go behind everything, and they kind of just said they won't move as much because obviously I need to show distance and whatnot. So just get some shapes here. I don't know what I'll do for the shapes themselves. I want them to kind of be symbols, but at the same time, they they don't really mean anything because they're just shapes. But yeah, have that, and then of course in the center, uh, to make everything look appropriate. If I just do that, I want radial, and this should just be main color out. Nope, that was reversed. Why is that reversed? Does it look reversed because I have that? 1 second. No, I want that but reversed. Why? Why? Do I need... Why is it reversing? No. Well, if I cancel, if I did that, is that going to change anything? No, that's just going to make it orange. Why would it? I don't get what's happening. I'm too tired to. Oh, because reverse is in there. So because obviously this thing's getting. Okay, I have a cat. Hi, kitty cat. Um, because obviously it's a sphere. It's a circle. You know, to pick. Then select, invert selection. We go to this layer and then delete so that it's there. So we do something like that. And that could be that. I'm too tired to try to make it actually look impressive, unfortunately. Uh, I don't have enough gas in my system. Maybe tomorrow I'll dedicate a proper stream because I get off earlier, so I can work more on it. Because obviously this part that I'm gonna need to go and add, how the lighting's gonna work on it and all that. Um, Decide which colors I want to actually do. Make sure everything's lined up properly. I've got a bit of work to do on it, but yeah. As for So if I go and do that, so we'll have to run over those bits for this. So okay. See, I'm holding my cat on my shoulder with one arm, and so now I only have one arm to do everything, but I need to hit hotkeys and whatnot to put all of this into a folder. I'll have to do it. No, not that way. Oh, come on. I can't hit the buttons. I want file layer. Nope, that's not what I want. I want to group it. Okay. I will just do a quick group. I will throw all these into the group. Can you stop biting my head, JC? It's quite rude. It's quite rude, JC. I love my baby girl. Even if she is rude and biting my hair and back of the head and ear. Ow! Rude. That was my ear. Yes. She's mad because I'm not giving her enough attention. Normally, when I get home from work, I cuddle her for at least an hour or two. And she's annoyed because I didn't cuddle her today. Because I was too busy wanting to draw. Okay, now I need... It's awkward because I'm using one hand. I need to hold the key while I do that. I can't just... I don't think... Yeah, it's not a direct button. Alright, so for the arms, I'm thinking about doing a kind of similar thing where... Well, no, because... I don't know what I want to do with the arms. Because I don't actually have anything tracking my arms. So what I'll probably do is something more along the lines of just having so having just a line like that, so filled in. It's even harder to draw now because I have a little fucker biting my hair and all that, all while purring as if she's super happy to be allowed on my shoulder, biting me. What a jerk, right? But she's a cat, so it's expected. Okay, so have so a line kind of like that, and then have the line uh kind of just bend as my arms kind of sway with the breathing and automated animations. Can you stop? Ugh. Can you stop? Ah, bite you. Bite your ears. Nom 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 nom. Eh? I need to actually bite her ears there. I have. I nibble on her ears because it's funny. Especially after she bites me. Because I just bite her back. I'm a lot more gentle than she is, though. Oh, I wonder, do we have kitty cat ASMR? Or did I remember to unmute? Okay, I did remember to unmute myself. I was like, wait a second. I wonder if we got kitty cat ASMR. Oh, are you drooling because you're just too happy? Yeah, she does that. I asked a vet, and a vet said that in this situation, when she drools, it's fine. If she was drooling while she's not, like purring and happy out of her gourd, then it would be worrying. But she only starts drooling when she's purring loud enough that I can hear her from another room, really. I don't know if my mic picks it up because she's purring away from the mic. But she's she's a very loving and lovable kitty cat. Yes, you are. So she's a very cuddly. She's a very cuddly cat. She likes cuddling a lot. When I move my head down like this, it's because I am uh, petting her with my head. Because it's the only way to stop her from biting me is to actively pet her. If I stop moving, she bites because she's both happy to be held and annoyed that I am not devoting all of my attention to her. I bite with my lips because otherwise I get hair inside my mouth, and that's gross. I don't want cat hair inside my mouth. That's gross. So yeah, the arm's probably going to be fairly basic. I'll probably also have uh, just some sort of symbols or whatever, kind of going through the middle there, as well as everything else that I've kind of done for this. I guess the central bit here. Which one is it? Yeah, this one here can really just be on all of them. So have it, you know, give it depth by making it, it's translucent. It's not transparent. It's translucent. So, you know, the thicker it is, the darker it'll be. So so it makes sense that in the center of it, through the center of it, will be the darkest spot. So we'll have that as kind of the arms, and it'll bend and warp and all that. Uh, slowly as my arms move. Uh, Maybe I'll have it so that I kind of move my arms as I move around. I don't really know how I'll make it obvious. It'll probably be more obvious if I decide to animate the character, like make a full puppet of my character, so that I can make short animations. I kind of want to do that. I want to do that. So having that will be beneficial for that when I puppeteer, because I'll be taking my regular model and I will be making some extra assets so that I can turn it around all the way. But I want to be able to have basically a full running loop animation as it turns all the way around. And that'll save me, hopefully, a decent amount of time, running and walking animations, all that as it turns around, as it's able to turn around. So, potentially with different leans and all that. How everything works together is wonderful, and I love it, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get working properly. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I can't even write right now, as I should probably rename. There we go. Rename that to core, and this one layer to arm, and of course, the other arm would just be mirrored. So it would be this, but I think this button's mirrored. Yeah, it would just be that. So, you know, right arm, left arm. I'm saying this from my perspective because I would be the one with the arms. E. Okay. Oh, look, I will have made it about an hour. So after the arm, then next one. Yeah. Then the next one is going to be the eyes. So, with my eyes and everything, uh, I'm also going to be, rather than having my toggles here, I can showcase a little bit. So, my eyes, I have blue and then the purple and red, and then technically I have uh, full red and full purple. Rather than doing that, doing those toggles, you wanna grab the pen? Can you stop? Thank you. She likes biting anything that you put in front of her face, which is why she likes to bite. She doesn't bite hard. It just ear bites are painful. Uh, anyways, so with the eyes themselves, so these act as the irises of the actual eye. Whereas on this model, I have the scalia, so the whites of my eyes. Um, However, for the future model, what I'll probably be doing is having, well, I guess I'll just do it this way. So, actually, huh, I'll be doing kind of a very dark near black purple and very dark near black red. So I'm not gonna have the changing colors uh, for everything. The main core is gonna be blue as it is now. Only some of the lines and whatnot and things going through it uh, are going to be, purple and red because I still like that color scheme. And then same with the arms. The arms are actually going to be purple and red. Uh, the reason why I have blue as an option is, well, for one, when I originally drew the model before I decided to make the purple and red eyes, the default that I have, um, because like the default is full blue. Um, and I like it. I like it. It looks nice. But I always toggle to the purple and red because I like the purple and red a bit more. I'm I'm a heterochromia fanboy. I like heterochromatic eyes, two different colored eyes, obviously. Um, and so whenever I see it, I just really like it. So I'm gonna keep the blue because lore-wise, um, by default, magic, or as I call it, Ethrim, is blue, unless it's condensed enough. And even though this doesn't fit into the world that I've designed Ethrim around, I still want to try to keep that in there because I spent a lot of time working on my magic stuff for Ethrim. Technically, Ethrim doesn't turn red; it just goes from blue to purple. Um, so like this character wouldn't work in the worlds that I designed, or the world that I designed to have that magic system, but I wanted to reference it. So blue is kind of the base color. It's going to be, you know, the magic holding the head up. It's going to be the base color of the core orb, with some of those lines that I drew them all blue, but some of them are going to be purple, some of them are going to be red, and yada yada. And I think the mixing of colors is going to make it look a little bit more interesting. And of course, everything that when one thing is red, on the opposite side it's going to be purple, and so on, because that's kind of just how I do things. The band. Uh, so if I go back, so this one, of course, is just going to be either purple or red. Okay, child, you need to settle down. Okay, you need to settle down. You're making it very difficult to hold you, and I don't want to accidentally drop you because then people would yell at me. So if I go and bring all these back up, so the way that I would want to do this, that's the band there. So the way that I would do this is say I did this one red, this one would be red, and then this would be purple, and this would be purple. And then I'd have this be a gradient from purple to red in the back. Then if we did, say we did this one, the upper lip red, lower lip will be purple. This would be purple. This would be red. And then this would just be randomly, like all these little holes there. I say randomly, but would be purple, red, and blue, kind of just all over the place. So, that. With that, and then the rest of those areas would be blue. That's kind of what I was thinking of for that. Some of these interior ones are just going to stay blue. Well, the interior ones I'll probably keep the blue just to keep it simple. I don't want to mix the colors too much. You know, I don't want to stack the colors on each other because then it starts to get a little bit too crazy. Right, JC? Yeah. So, anyways, I work fairly early tomorrow, and I am a lot more tired than I thought I was. So, I will try to stream tomorrow, and I'll try to do a proper long stream where I turn this into something that looks a lot better. Because obviously this is not that impressive. Sorry for getting all your hopes up that I was going to draw some really impressive orbs, but I did draw a set, kind of. It's all in the same thing, but it is technically a set. Um, yeah. As for the eyes, I'm just probably going to create a glitter effect, which is hard to showcase here. Glitter effect, and then of course that central bit. Um, da, 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 da. So let's do that. So the pupil obviously is going to be okay. You're going. You're going. Okay. Awesome. I have both arms just as I'm about ready to end. So I'll probably try to mimic the let's just do this from the start. So like if I pull up that while I draw this, so we have the oh, this should be on just top so that way it's in front of everything. So what I'll probably do with the eye is have this line on the pupil, uh, all the lines in here. So the main outside of the eye will be either red or purple. And then I'll have the blue pupil with purple and red broken out through it. So rather than having one eye be solid red with just different shades of red, the actual iris itself will be broken up with, you know, it'll be red in the center because, yeah, I want to be, so all these center bits here be red. And so unlike the other one you're where, it's as opposite as possible, these ones uh and of course where when we flip the eye so that it's the other way around, uh the red and purple will be swapped. And then anywhere that actually let's do that. So the outermost will also be red. And then everything else will be another shade of blue. So that'll be kind of the eye, and of course, uh, it'll have its own. It's harder to tell because of all this garbage. So there we go. That makes it a little bit easier. So it'll have its own follower that goes off, just like the other one, and around back. So that it also looks like it's turning fully uh, as I move it around the eye, look the socket. There we go. I have a baseline. I'm probably gonna go and change so much about how I'm actually doing this, uh, when by the time that I actually go ahead and do it. But this is kind of the base idea of how I want to start. So, without further ado, because I am on the verge of collapse, even though my voice doesn't always sound like it because I get moments where I am very excitable. Uh, I am having a lot of troubles keeping my eyes actually open. So, we are going to save this and call it. Uh, there we go. Have yourselves a fantastic night. I know this was a very short stream, but it's fine. Bye bye.